100 participants are attending this 14th International Civil Aviation Organization Air Services Negotiation meeting. Now, this year's event will offer a forum for participants to learn about current industry trends and issues and exchange experiences in addition to the negotiation of agreements. Africa hopes to build air transport travels after the devastating impact of COVID on the sector. Nigeria is the third African country hosting this year's forum that has seen a gradual increase in the number of participating countries, currently at 160. As a way to welcome participants from different countries, poet Dike Chukwumerije serenaded the guests with deep yet entertaining words before the business of the day began.
No accident that the same geographical space that incubated so many of the iconic kingdoms and peoples of ancient West Africa is today home to the biggest economy in Africa and the most populous black nation on the face of this planet. So that is where you are.
Then came the unity dancers representing major tribes in Nigeria. Though the COVID-19 pandemic dealt a huge blow on air travels, the African aviation industry is gradually picking up, with air travel forecasts to grow by 5.2%. It currently contributes $63 billion in GDP, as well as supports 7.7 million jobs. But the continent needs about $400 billion for airport infrastructure expansion.
The future outlook for the aviation market up to 2040 by original equipment manufacturers indicates that the projections of new aircraft deliveries in Africa is very limited, and the growth of low-cost carriers in Africa is lagging behind if we were to compare it to other regions in the world.
I do believe at the conclusion of this event, the agreement signs, arrangement made, knowledge and ideas exchanged will further facilitate the recovery of the industry for the unprecedented impact of the COVID-19 pandemic by providing better opportunities for enhanced regional and global air connectivity.
The International Civil Aviation Organization president is confident that by the end of 2022, Africa air travel will record 80% recovery rate post-COVID, while Nigeria is currently doing well at 90%. Plans to establish the single Africa air transport market and carbonization of international air flights by 2050 will further boost growth in the sector.
Regulators and service negotiators will play an important role for the equation, providing the industry enabling regulatory frameworks leading to improved air connectivity and more seamless international travel. I will not mention, but Icao is working also very hard to produce a seamless experience of passenger in a contactless environment.
Minister of Aviation, Senator Hadi Sirika, says the meeting provides an opportunity for the African market with 1.4 billion people to be tapped into. President Muhammadu Buhari, while declaring the conference open, says Nigeria will continue to ensure safety and security of the aviation sector in line with the ideals of Icao.
I recently signed into law a new Civil Aviation Act, which, as a critical element of Icao, will further strengthen the sector for improved safety. The Ministry of Aviation is directed to reorganize its agencies to conform with the said act.
COVID has shown us the experience that we do need to allow free movement of goods, especially of those essential nature, for our aviation industry to play the key role it ought to in connecting and regenerating our economies.
There is a consensus here that Africa has the potential to develop its aviation industry, but the question is how effectively can the continent tap into this potential while tackling the challenges that exist within the sector?
We must all throw our weight behind initiatives that can help our states to recover economically, and I do believe that we are in agreement that aviation sector is the sector that will continue to thrive when there is mutual cooperation and collaboration between countries towards having strong airlines and effective routes.
For the next 5 days, stakeholders here will deliberate and reach bilateral, regional or multilateral air services agreements that are beneficial to member states. Next up after this year's meeting is Saudi Arabia. The Icao flag was ceremoniously handed over to the host country for the 2023 ICANN meeting. Georgina Ndukwezaika, Arise News.